Advancements in technology are always met with varying degrees of fear and skepticism, with mechanization being seen as both promising and threatening from the very start. The notion of humans being replaced by machines quickly arose alongside the praise for the life-enhancing benefits they offer. Cyborgs, as a unique amalgamation of these ideas, directly blend flesh with technology, making them intriguing figures in popular culture. They can be portrayed as iconic villains or heroes, which raises the question of what makes the fusion of man and machine simultaneously frightening and captivating. Hello, I'm Dr. Emily Zarka, and welcome to Monstrum. The history of cyborgs is closely tied to industrialization and mechanization, although its roots go back much further. Stories of human automatons can be traced back to as early as the 4th or 5th century BCE. For example, ancient Chinese philosophical texts, such as Lizi, mention a play featuring a mechanical puppet made from wood and leather, capable of independent movements, singing, and dancing. Similarly, records of steam-powered human-like automatons can be found in the writings of Alexandrian engineers from Egypt around the 3rd century CE. Even ancient Indian Buddhist texts contain tales of automated soldiers safeguarding relics. Both in fiction and reality, automatons were fascinating marvels, valued for their peculiarity and ability to inspire wonder. While cyborgs are distinct from automatons, they share a cultural history. A cyborg is a hybrid of living organism and machine, whereas an automaton is a machine created to resemble and possibly imitate humans. Throughout the Renaissance period, legends of brazen heads and brass-talking automatons, imitating humans and offering fortune-telling services, captured the imagination. Such creations, often believed to be powered by supernatural forces like the devil, sorcery, or necromancy, were considered monstrous and defied the natural order. Their existence also raised profound questions about the human soul and the essence of life. In the 17th century, the philosopher and mathematician René Descartes introduced the beast-machine hypothesis, proposing that the human body operates on mechanical processes or motions. This idea aligned with the emerging profession of medicine, which viewed the body as an organic machine, further blurring the boundaries between humans and machines. This period coincided with the Industrial Revolution and various political upheavals worldwide, and technological advancements became associated with both utopian ideals and apprehension. It wasn't until the 19th century that human-machine hybrids made their appearance in fictional narratives. E.T.A. Hoffman's 1814 Automata features one of the earliest quasi-human automations, although it is clearly recognized as a machine. In his 1816 story The Sandman, Hoffman depicts two men attempting to pass off a wooden clockwork-driven automaton as a real woman with moderate success. Similarly, Jane Loudon's futuristic 1827 novel The Mummy imagines technologies like mirror holoscreens, flying robotic horses, and labor androids functioning as prison guards, judges, and lawyers. These Romantic-era androids, both before and after the revelation of their non-human identities, elicited mixed emotions of revulsion and awe. They were perceived as unnatural and terrifying, reflecting cultural beliefs about the relationship between humans and machines. The famous American writer Edgar Allan Poe explored the concept of the mechanical body and the human body in his science fiction works. During his career as a writer, the United States witnessed the rapid expansion of train tracks, giving rise to the medical profession and the emergence of machine doctors or mechanics. In 1839, Poe penned The Man That Was Used Up, often considered the first true cyborg narrative, which drew inspiration from the changing landscape of technology and society during that time. The story is a satirical and enigmatic narrative. The narrator's mission is to uncover the truth behind the famed war hero, General John A.B.C. Smith, and his remarkable notoriety. The general, appearing formidable and handsome, shocks the narrator when they discover that the admired figure has lost his teeth, arms, legs, scalp, shoulder, chest, eye, and most of his tongue due to torture while being a prisoner of war. Now relying on false eye, wig, cork legs, and a mechanical tongue, the general presents a frightening and peculiar sight when seen without these artificial additions, leaving the narrator in stunned silence. Although humans with mechanical enhancements have been portrayed in fiction for centuries, it was not until 1960 that the term cyborg was officially defined. The term was introduced in a New York Times article discussing scientists' exploration of enhancing astronauts for space travel efficiency. Coined by researchers Manfred E. Kleins and Dr. Nathan S. Klein, the concept proposed the development of human and bodies equipped with battery-powered devices that would eliminate the need for eating or breathing. This early definition of cyborg referred to a man-machine system where the human's control mechanisms were externally modified by drugs or regulatory devices, allowing them to survive in different environments. The late 1970s and 80s witnessed a period of cultural and social technological upheaval. The advent of personal computers, portable phones, fiber optics, and the internet challenged existing worldviews and gave rise to new anxieties. In a post-industrial world, concerns about machines taking over human jobs and relevance became more pronounced. Popular culture mirrored these concerns and envisioned the potential effects of digital technology, both positively and negatively, in dystopian android movies like The Terminator and Blade Runner, as well as in more optimistic portrayals like the superhero Cyborg in the DC comic universe and the crime-fighting cyberpunk Major Motoko Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell. In 1985, Donna Haraway's feminist post-human text, A Cyborg Manifesto, proclaimed that we are all already cyborgs. Haraway argued that humans are amalgams of organism and machine, a reality that we may find discomforting yet should embrace with pleasure and acceptance. She employed the cyborg as a metaphor to challenge conventional notions of human and non-human distinctions, asserting that we are inherently interconnected with technology. Advancements in modern medicine have further contributed to our understanding of cyborgs. Tiny machines now reside within the human body, forming what Haraway refers to as couplings. The anxiety surrounding cyborgs arises from the perceived threat they pose to the traditional understanding of humanity, challenging the physical and mental boundaries of what it means to be human. Posthumanism, as a philosophical concept, rejects anthropocentrism, the idea that humans are the central and most significant entities in the world. Posthumanism advocates for blurring or eliminating the boundaries between humans and other organic and inorganic matter, embracing a more interconnected perspective. The realm of monsters and posthumanism is closely intertwined. As Catherine Hales discusses in How We Became Posthuman, the prospect of transformation through technology can evoke simultaneous feelings of terror and pleasure. The concept of posthumanism does not necessarily have to be apocalyptic or anti-human. The cyborg itself embodies both positive and negative interpretations of this philosophy, showcasing its multifaceted nature. Discoveries in zoology have also influenced our modern understanding of cyborgs. As the 20th century drew to a close, the distinction between human and non-human animals became more blurred. Many non-human animals exhibit tool usage, problem-solving abilities, complex languages, social behaviors, and grieving practices, which challenge traditional definitions of humanity. The cyborg is a human-made concept that serves as a distinction between humans and non-human animals, where artificial devices are used to make humans less animal-like. Alternatively, a more radical perspective sees cyborgs as breaking the boundaries between humans, animals, and machines, envisioning a post-humanist utopia where all things are interconnected and traditional boundaries cease to exist, evoking both liberation and terror. This is the reason why cyborgs are often depicted as monstrous figures. Whether it's the hive mind-driven villainous Borg in Star Trek, Marvel's Dr. Octopus, or James Bond's nefarious Dr. No, antagonistic cyborgs are physically threatening due to their incorporation of diverse technologies, labeling them as others or the villains in the narrative. Even when cyborgs are portrayed as the protagonists, this pattern continues, albeit with a different portrayal. Heroes like RoboCop, Iron Man, Major Motoko, the Bionic Woman, and others typically have traumatic backstories or events that drive them towards mechanical augmentation, justifying their monstrosity as a means to achieve their goals. A fitting example of this concept can be found in Star Wars, where both Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker are cyborgs, at least since the end of Episode 5. As we follow Luke's struggles and triumphs in A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, his tragic past as an orphan living a harsh life after his father's alleged murder, as told by Obi-Wan, evokes sympathy even before he loses his hand. Luke's artificial hand is cleverly designed to look organic, allowing him to conceal his cyborg nature. Conversely, Darth Vader's cybernetic enhancements are prominently displayed, visually cementing him as the villain. Initially, his cyborg identity is not justified, but later, his tragic history as Anakin Skywalker, which led him to embrace the dark side, is unveiled, providing context for his transformation. It should be noted that this explicit revelation occurs in the newer Star Wars movies, released around the turn of the 21st century, as attitudes towards robotics and technology have evolved. Despite the evolving perceptions, all cyborgs still represent the fear of losing ourselves in the technologies we create. While cyborgs may not inherently be monsters, there is an underlying anxiety that they could become monstrous. How we respond to them is largely influenced by our perspective on integrating technology into our lives, whether we coexist with it or become one with it. Additionally, the mention of Lizi is a reference to the ancient Chinese philosophical texts that include stories of mechanical automatons, adding to the cultural history of human-machine hybrids.